What's up, everyone? It's me, Adam Prime, and we are back again for another TokuBrew podcast this week in Toku. I'm running out of stuff to run out in the description because we've been staying on top of things recently. With me, as always, is my loving, debonair, fanciful, and beautiful fiancé.
I thought you were gonna say fancy feast.
Break me off a piece of that fancy feast? Kit Kat. You alright?
You just put my fucking brain on a roller coaster of emotions.
Are you gonna introduce yourself?
I'm Stormy. That's apparently a cat food flavored Kit Kat.
Oh, yeah.
Where fancy feast was, didn't you?
I did.
Break me off a piece of meow meow meow.
Give me a break. Give me a break. Break me off a piece of that nasty thing. We are unhinged and we are only probably like a minute into this.
Oh my god. It's just one of those days, man.
Oh my god.
Imagine cat food flavored Kit Kat.
No. That sounds like those.
Cat in the Kit this summer.
Oh my god. It would be like one of those fucking. What are the nasty jelly beans called?
Bean boozled. Like,
fuck those.
it's
Fuck.
mystery flavored.
Did you know Nathan had a trick to winning that?
Yeah, he just swallowed them like.
Swallowed them whole. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, that's smart. Dude, that's.
Probably should take out his name though.
I didn't give a last name. You know how many people by that name are in this world?
You don't know.
It's not like he listens. Do you?
Are you listening?
See, now we don't even know. See, I'm about to say the joys of having friends without like super hyper specific names. Like if somebody's name was called Daffodil Pandalily, and that was their name, and like they were our friend, like we would have to redact your name all the time.
Yeah, like narrows it down. But also, how is that the first thing you came up with?
It was something that I was like impossible. Where it's like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, if somebody's actually named that, and you are listening to this, if you know why your parents named you that, can you leave it down in the comments? I'm legitimately curious. Just saying. Would you not?
Hi, welcome to our Tokusatsu podcast, where we don't talk about Tokusatsu, apparently.
Nobody hates
Toku.
Toku.
Cat food flavored Kit Kat bars and our random friend Nathan.
There you go. We have very little news. Not a ton of news, or nothing that I think any of us want to talk about. Like, we're getting
Nothing lighthearted.
we got some lighthearted stuff, but there's no point. Where it's like, do we really need to talk about Tycoon getting his buckle? Like, he doesn't have it in the show, so we're just gonna talk about it when it's in the show. What's the point of talking about that suit later? It's like, we have Decker's power-up stuff, which you haven't seen. You know it's happening, because...
I mean, it's an Ultraman show.
Well, yeah, but say, I'm like, he hasn't... those are not his final forms.
Though, one thing I did remark on earlier, as I am really impressed with how consistent they've been with just giving him his main three. Like, usually with this, it's like, here's a new form, like, every episode. He gets a new card every episode. But no, it's been mainly just those. And I mean, he's been using his weapons. We haven't seen the monsters much, but like, I'm kind of impressed.
I'm surprised at the amount he's used that sword.
Yeah.
But Trigger did the same too. It's like he had that, and then he went to Glitter. But then they also did pull like Trigger Truth out of their ass.
But okay, so let's get to Decker.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, Decker.
So, as I mentioned this, and I think maybe you thought of a better way of saying it, but this is kind of one of those episodes that are hard to talk about because technically not much happens. It's a good
Even
episode.
if we go beat by beat, there's not going to be much to say.
It would just
it's a spectacle.
It would kind of be us just like listing off things, which doesn't really sound interesting. This is very much it's entertaining if you watch it.
Yeah.
Like, it was fun. It was a good episode, but like...
The main premise is just the spheres took over Neo Megamaris or whatever its name is.
The one from last time.
The one from the one lady who made a monster.
Yeah, and it's just
and like it's just them getting ready and loaded out.
Them figuring out how the robot works.
Yeah. Hanejiro gets the death facer.
Absolutely wrecking ass.
Yeah, Decker lost this episode.
Yeah, I'm actually very impressed that they let the humans win. The humans won something on their own.
And
they're all grown up
this just
now.
kind of focused on kind of just the same story beat of like Kanata is not knowing what he's fighting for.
Yeah, and just kind of like
insert that one meme here.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like it's like he's like, because the professor asked him like, hey, why you doing this? And like he gives like kind of that vague of like, hey,
I mean, I want to help people, and that's pretty hard for the moment.
He's like,
so I'll figure it out later.
Yeah, he's like, but unlike known help, like mindless helping could get somebody hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, well, you don't gotta be a fucking downer.
No, we gotta admit, he isn't really mindlessly helping in this episode because Hanejiro is full on dishing out orders, just being like yeeting his ass out of the
my
plane
god,
and
yeah.
just being like, turn into Ultraman.
Well, yeah, that's when he died, was like when he had to fight him the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was so funny. Like Hanejiro has gone full, like he's going Skynet levels of like he is gaining his sentence. Yeah, he's gaining his sentience.
They basically are alluding that he's becoming more and more like human-esque, like with the more they interact with him. And I love it.
It's like I like that he even sassed him that, like you said, that he beat the monster. Mm-hmm. He's like, I beat something that not even Decker could beat. So it's like Kanata's just like offended, but he can't say anything.
Yeah, and he like tries to like shove him back into his little jar.
Exactly. And it's like, I love that dynamic, but then we get furthermore.
He's becoming more and more sassy as the day goes on, and I'm okay with it.
The character dynamics in the show are just great, and this episode just exemplifies it. Like, seeing Kanata being upset about the whole thing and losing his Decker and not really knowing why he's doing this, and just start working out. Just
being like, well, if this isn't good enough, then we just have to work harder.
Yeah, it's like,
just give up.
Just try to better yourself.
Take the L, learn from it, do better, basically.
Yeah, instead of moping about why you're doing it, just keep getting those sick gains. And like then Raymond and Ichika fucking was just like, fuck it, yeah, let's all get jacked. Which that was a nice moment.
Again, I like that Raymond just isn't like just an asshole and nothing else. Like,
he's just kind of
he's a little standoffish, but like they do feel like friends, you know?
Yeah, they're friends now.
Also, I had mentioned something in this episode because it seemed like they were, because I still don't trust the one guy, the one science
the professor.
Guy. Yeah, I don't know. Like maybe there will be a thing where like he'll turn around and it's like, oh, he's good and stuff, but I'm still kind of suspicious of him. And funny enough, I had mentioned, I was like, you know what? I feel like it would kind of be interesting if Decker did something like, because usually whenever there's a case where they do end up finding out who the Ultraman is, oh my gosh, it was this person all along. It's usually at like the very end of the show. Like even with Trigger, I was just like, it felt like that probably could have done it well. It probably would have benefited from it actually. And I was like, I wonder if Decker will actually have the guts to kind of do that, because it seems like it would make sense for in this situation, like, oh, he would be like, hey, I'm Ultraman, I can help, and then they can help strategize and they can like research, and it just felt right. And then the ending of this episode happened.
We'll get to that. Put a pin in that real quick. But I also mentioned thinking about,
what else did you...
I have a couple things.
Okay.
First things first, when we were watching the episode, it hit me where I'm like, what if Decker tries to recreate Dinah's ending? I'm not going to bring it up here because you haven't seen it. And I don't want to spoil it in case I'm right. But if you have watched Dinah, if a black hole shows up, no, I fucking called it. Like...
And also, apparently, your soul will be shattered.
I'm going to be very upset. I will be very upset. I was visually upset when it happened in Dinah, and I know you saw me about that, but you don't remember that, so I'm just gonna keep that to myself.
Dinah did mess you up, though. I remember you being upset. Not fully, but I remember something.
Hajimero's leaving upset me. You had to go back into space because he was God. I don't think Hanejiro is gonna be God. I think he's just gonna gate. He's gonna know how. He knows why they cry. Terminator 2 reference. Put like 50 more of them in here.
Okay.
Future me, go ahead and do that. I'm not going to, but I'm just gonna say I tried when I didn't. So
Let's say you didn't try.
it's
Don't lie.
I'm not. I just admitted to that, didn't I? But also we don't know why. Like they were growing veins into the earth,
Yeah.
and I had to question. I'm like,
It's like the opposite of what that other monster is doing. It was like sending something into the earth. So I just wonder if there's like a monster down there or something.
oh, like they like put it in like an egg or something.
Or it's like feeding something.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were trying to
Or
go after the
awakening
Eternal.
something, or just insert monster shit here.
Yeah, I was thinking. I'm like, does this have anything to do with the Eternity Core? Does anyone care about that anymore?
Maybe I imagine.
Is Kengo
not.
still in that? No, wait, no, he left. He left Earth.
Yeah, he was on Mars.
I forgot. I almost forgot. Could you imagine if he was
God.
still in there?
You're not up to date on your trigger lore.
Which is funny because that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, I know. Well, whatever.
But like, could you imagine if he was just still in there? Wouldn't that make him look like a dick move?
Did
That
we
he would.
talk about that movie? I'm realizing in like a podcast or a movie-thon or something.
I did. That was the last movie on the movie-thon.
Oh, I see. So I just talked about it with you.
Yes,
Okay.
but like I'm saying, I remember we also brought it up in Trigger when we didn't know where Kengo was. But could you imagine how much of a dick move would that be? He's just like laying in there in like this light sphere, just sleeping. It's like 5 more minutes. I don't fucking want to deal with that shit.
I mean, is there anything else you really want to?
No, other than that, there's nothing really left to
Well,
talk about Trigger. Like outside of
I met Decker, Adam.
oh yeah, Decker.
You know, the show we're talking about.
Well, yeah, there's nothing else
Did
to.
you forget?
No, I meant when I said Trigger a second ago, I meant to say Decker because it's like
Oh, okay.
there's nothing really else. Like the fighting was good, the action was good. There was a little bit character development and character like interaction that was great. It's just there's nothing to talk about really in depth.
You also did mention that, like, and it's something I also would like to point out. Just we like that the people that are kind of on the ground, being like the front linemen during all these monster attacks, have more armor than they did in Trigger.
Yeah,
because they kind of just had like their leather jacket uniforms, and that's about it. But these guys, like at minimum, at least have like
armor, knee pads.
have, like, elbow pads and stuff.
Yeah.
They're, like when they're like going out and fighting, they have like helmets and guns and armor
with
and
machine
like,
guns.
You know what? I feel like that makes a lot more sense.
Before we go, another Hanejiro moment, just demanding that Kanata turns into Decker. Is just like he's like I can't. After he was like spraying a machine gun, he's like, don't worry, I got
No
you.
problem.
Whole robot fucking falls.
God, I love how he just looks so fed up with him. Just like, God, why is he calling the shots?
Exactly, where it's like he's getting too sassy. How much sass can he do? Again, the fact that he just vaporized the monster.
That was a really impressive blast.
It didn't even explode.
It just was gone.
It just stopped existing. There was no particles or anything left. Like nobody could be like, "Oh, look we found these little samples of monsters." Not even that. It's just whatever space it was in, air.
Just like an angel's kiss.
Yeah. So do you want to? Okay, you want to take the pin out or?
Sure. So, scientist guy.
Captain Professor Man.
Sure. The guy I don't trust. So they basically hand him over all the data from Hanejiro going out and fighting, and just like, okay, here you go. Use this to make everything better. And he's like, cool. And he's going through, and he's like, oh, some classified files.
Better check what this shit is.
Just mosey on in here, and he finds out.
Oh.
Decker. Is it Asuka? That's his name.
No, Asuka is Dinah.
Is it Asuma?
Asumi.
Asumi.
I just call him Kanata.
They found out he's Decker.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, Hanejiro left his browser history open. What did he? What?
Right on time, go Decker.
erotic exercise
Oh my
videos. That was such a trope in, like, before internet porn was a thing.
Dude, I don't know if we want to go down this conversation road. I'm gonna do a swift U-turn and say, how about no?
Yeah, like, but yeah, no, he finds out that, yeah, he's Decker, and he's just like,
That's just kind of where that leaves off.
yeah,
So.
and it doesn't look like we're even gonna pay any mind to it next episode.
I don't know. So I guess we'll just kind of have to see.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it seems like we have another plot in the next episode, and I can't remember for the life of me what it is.
I don't remember either, honestly.
So,
Dawn Brothers?
yeah, Dawn Brothers. Holy fuck. They duped us again.
How do they keep freaking doing it?
But they technically did bring in a new Inoue brother.
Kind of? I mean,
He was
oh
Inoue brother for all of 3
I
seconds.
both love and hate the fact that it's like this has gone on for so long. It's like technically it could keep going on pretty much indefinitely at this point. But they were just like, we should probably find out who that guy is.
Yeah,
and that's like the driving force behind it.
That's the whole episode, is literally just them being like, that dog. We should know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, and also, like, Inoue brother, Tsubasa, he's, like, going around trying to find out what was up with Miho/Natsumi. He doesn't really find out a lot.
Yeah, but us as the audience now know what it is?
Kind of, I guess. Like,
they said copy. So it's like, I think they're
really...
2 separate things. I just don't know if it's like...
I wonder if, like, they'll be able to bring Natsumi back and...
have Miho.
And then, like... Miho, the bestial, will stay with Kaji brother because that's like the person that he kind of fell in love with, and Natsumi's basically a different person at this point. So maybe that actual person that they copied will go off with Tsubasa in the end.
Well, and that's my question, because now it's like, here's something, because we're at this moment already, where it's like, I want to admit that maybe she actually does love Kaji brother, but then like, because last episode we found out what are cranes, story weavers.
Yeah, and
like,
also we saw like another angle of when like he was like crying and hugging her, and be like, "Oh my gosh, Miho, are you okay?" And he has like his crazy hair, and after she hugs him, she just has like a blank face, like she doesn't have any emotion on her face.
Well, yeah, so it's like
she's not happy to see him, or it's just nothing.
Yeah, it's
like that's kind of impressive from the actress, like just
yeah,
showing that amount of just empty.
Yeah, so it's like, it makes me really curious of like, is that even a lie, and she's just like living that life, and is she doing this to multiple people? Which for a second I almost thought that's what was happening.
Thankfully, no, there was just a person that looked a lot like them, and the guy probably just needs normal glasses, as they say.
Yeah, as he said. But
I'm realizing there really isn't like actually like a whole lot of details to really discuss, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, again, the driving force was, they were like, we're gonna find out who the dog is, and they just kept like, even
they kept getting like,
oh my god, wait, we
like,
need to talk about
dogs that like, there's like a couple of dogs that came in, and
yeah,
and again they thought it was this guy with just crazy hair.
we thought it was a wig at first.
I thought it was a wig, and they just didn't hide his normal hair properly, but I think that was on purpose, and maybe that's his hair, and they just dyed it and curled it and made it crazy.
It looked bad.
It doesn't look good.
Sorry, if that's your actual hair actor who played this person who's definitely listening to this podcast.
When it comes to self-expression, you do what makes you happy, but in my personal opinion, it did not look that good.
If I can laugh at mullet children...
I cannot believe that is a trend that is coming back. Oh my god.
It looks stupid.
Everyone... have a mullet, stop it. Just cut it off the ponytail. Just cut it off, I'm sorry.
Yeah, because we know...
And you do what makes you happy. But in my personal opinion, please cut it off.
Okay, can we get to the monster, like, real quick? Because I don't think there's much to say.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there was a really wholesome moment.
Yeah, like the,
about.
Yeah, because the monster...
Their thing was like, oh,
I want to diet.
I'm on a diet.
I want to lose weight.
I need to lose weight. I want to lose weight. And they're like, obviously, this is like the whole thing. Like, they're like desperately like wanting to lose weight and stuff.
And then, like, we don't even see what they look like until like
and then
this moment.
And then it passes by a restaurant, and I forget what food it was. Do you remember what it was?
No.
It's not. This isn't correct. I'm gonna say ramen, even though I know that is
No.
what it is. It was like a chicken and rice kind of dish.
Yeah.
From what I could tell, I think it said like kotatsu, but I don't think that's correct.
I thought it was like Kobini or something like that.
I don't remember what it was, but it's like, oh, unlimited, and then they like immediately like come out of the bestial form.
They're monster.
They're monster form, and it's like and it's just like this guy, and he's a bigger guy because that's a part of the joke.
In the standard overalls.
Mm-hmm. But I thought
Why
it
are they
was just
always in
really funny
overalls?
at first because it's like I love that the one desire stronger than wanting to lose weight was bottomless food, and I was like, me, that is me. And something so heartwarming happens actually because he walks in and he's being served. Oh, what is it? What does it say? Stop jumping around and pause.
I'm trying.
You're not. Try harder.
Just keep talking while I get it.
So, and he's being served by this lady, and he
Katsudon.
Katsudon? Yeah,
Yes.
it looks like it's basically like fried strips of like
chicken.
What's it called? Like tempura fried? Like tempura fried like strips of chicken with like rice and maybe some sort of like sauce. It looks very good. It looks delicious.
He's also a Ghost Ager monster.
Yeah. But and he's being served by this lady, and she's like, wow, like you're like, this is certainly a lot or something like that. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm actually cutting down because I'm on a diet. And she's like, I don't think you should be on a diet. And he just looks flabbergasted and looks up like, what? Really?
He's like, because he looks happy.
Yeah, and she's just like, I like a guy with a big appetite. Basically, like, I think you're fine the way you are. And he just gets all red. And it makes him so happy that he just completely loses that deep diet desire.
Maybe this was also her trying.
How do you explain this? Like the monster left him.
Well, like
he was satisfied simply with her kind words.
Well, yeah, it's like it's just expelled from his body. Like Hiro Yutsuki, we see take over and just like that like becomes their obsession. But like we see that you can lose that. You know what I mean? They no longer can. So it's like it shows them that other instance. Like those kind words hit this guy so hard.
It just exercised it straight out of his body.
Yeah.
And it warmed my soul on a level I have not felt in a
The
long
fact
time.
that it was like almost treated heavenly, like the thing looked like it was like rising to heaven or some shit.
If I don't get a follow-up on these two, I'm gonna be very upset. I want to see them married.
I think he's dead.
What?
I think the bottomless bowls would get to him. He's like, oh yeah, it's gonna be like, oh shit, dude.
Just let them be happy, you sick fuck.
I wasn't even trying to say, because he was just running a whole lot. Like his body and his heart is probably already just like, it's like from being that monster.
He's happy.
He is happy. I hope the best.
Happy.
I hope the best for him in his overall.
Let them be happy. I'm just saying I want an update on these characters and I want them married.
Hey, if the fat ninja wizard can come back, I think anything is possible.
You see him as a cowboy in the next
He's a
episode.
ninja cowboy wizard.
We see freaking in the preview. We see Sonoe fucking juiced up on taro juices and just fucking.
So when you
screaming
drink Kool-Aid
with the fan like how Taro does.
But he has his own fan.
What happens? I need to know.
Next episode seems hilarious. Back to Tsubasa, tricking people. Because since now they're showing so much of an interest of wanting to know his identity, he's like, why would they need to know? And then he notices there's a reward.
He knows a bounty.
Exactly. Which they compliment him on later.
Yeah, they're like, congratulations.
And they're like, that's so cool. Keep running.
I'm rooting for you.
Go further.
Make those bodies hit the floor.
Fucking get the 5-star rating on GTA. And like we have this other guy that we mentioned earlier, and after Inoue brother gets fucking chucked off a bridge, hits him on the head, they both fall near each other. Tsubasa teleports away. Yeah, the sunglasses pop off. They're on the floor, and they see the sunglasses near the singing guy. who also had
I mean,
Inoue in his name.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do we really even need to talk about this? I feel like we just kind of be doing like the plot of the episode.
I know.
And I feel like we already talked like really nicely just about the episode in general rather than a beat by beat. Like,
Well, no, because there's a moment I want to talk about. The fact that he could just put on the sunglasses and be Inoue brother. Where it's like, I guess like later we showed that like we heard with all the cat
to him, like
well, yeah,
it like popped back to him, but because he is like they seem to have like alluded that there's like a true like Inoue sister or Inoue sister, but like there's a true Oni sister, there's a true Sawa brother, there's a true
with how many candidates there were, but
yeah, it's like there are thousands of candidates. These are the only ones that have really worked, so it seems like those are the ones. That
as long as you're alive and or have not quit the Don brothers,
the chosen ones, you know.
But yeah, no, it's like I just thought that was
idea,
yeah, exactly, and like I just like at the fact because this is the other moment. So they finally thought, they're like, we got it. We found Inoue brother. And they threw Black Condor references because the guy writing this show wrote Jetman. I don't know if you knew this, but he did that. But also, the fact that that was also their excuse of why they still don't know. But also.
I mean, they've got to learn eventually at this point, right? Now that, like, the idea is kind of lodged.
I like how by the end of it they gave up again. They're like, well, I guess if we don't need to know, we just don't need to know. Oh, well.
Did not address this for a while.
Yeah.
Again.
Well, we addressed it. See you guys later. Go home.
You good, or you want to move on?
God, there was... Oh, yeah, the guy, I like how they were just thrown off because the guy later got super obsessed with wanting his girlfriend back, so he was fighting Inoue brother for it. So I guess that's the... I'm realizing they probably used that kind of bit to make it look like in the preview for last episode that Tsubasa was gonna fight Kajino.
That's fair.
I'm realizing that's probably why they did this.
Also, can I just give a quick shout out to the weird ass scene where Miho cleans his
what the fuck was that shit? That was weird.
And also the weird hair guitar playing guy.
His girlfriend came back.
Well, yeah, and that's where we kind of see that, he probably just has bad eyesight, because she just kind of wears similar clothes and has a similar haircut, and that's about it. But I also wanted to point out, wasn't he also, like, a young Ichigo? Like,
the actor?
Like, didn't he play a young Ichigo?
That was the captain from Decker.
Oh, okay.
That's where I brought that up tonight.
My bad.
No, he was doing his best Black Condor impression.
Yeah.
That's why it felt very Kamen Rider.
Okay.
Fuck you, Black Condor.
Jesus. So, good?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a good episode. It was a fun episode.
Again, not like a whole lot to really like chew on and digest in these episodes, but they were all still really fun. I was enjoying them. I had a good time.
Well, it was like good story-wise, but like it more progressed story than had anything to talk about. It's like as we've been going on in these weeks, it's just rolling it along.
Yeah.
It's like, what is, like you said, what else is there to talk about?
Right.
Outside of those small moments.
So let's get on to Geeks.
Or should we say Buffa? It's Buffa's episode.
By the way, can I just be the first to say that Buffa, with his hair in a ponytail, is very handsome. His hair looks...
I'm now going to have to get a screenshot of that, aren't I?
It frames his face very nicely.
Yeah. We learn we learn bits of his sad backstory.
He's a construction worker.
Yeah, and he had a construction worker friend who's in the Desire Grand Prix.
Wasn't the Desire Grand Prix.
Yeah. I think that's given.
He got murdered.
Yeah, he died.
He got murdered like fuck.
And for whatever reason, the only other part we saw of that flashback is after he died, all the other writers were just laughing. I don't know if Geets was actually laughing. I want to know if that was Buffa's warped version of it.
I feel like we'll probably learn more later. He'll probably actually like explain it at one point. But yeah, it seems like the other writer was just kind of like walking away and laughing, and Geets was just kind of fighting in the background. He was like fighting. But still, it almost made it look like, and this what makes me think of this as Buffa's trauma of it, where it's like you said, Geets was it, no, he's
like the other three were laughing, but Geets was just fighting. But like meanwhile, it's like Geets was obviously laughing when he was showing it because it was like zooming in on his face and it was at least moving up and everything.
Oh, is that what that's supposed to show?
I think so. But it's just like, yeah, so you find out he's a construction worker. He's still a construction worker, and he's just kind of being like, yeah, I'm just doing this to make money because I'm just living my life. Relatable.
And then Geets just pulls the ultimate.
You're fixing my house, fuckface.
Yeah, it's like some sort of like house flipping show, and he's just
Not
like,
even.
Here, fix my house, bitch.
Yeah, House in a Jiffy, I think it was called.
Yeah, something like that, or fixed in a jiffy, something like that.
Yeah, and it's so funny because it's just like, it's the ultimate like middle finger because he's just like, when are you gonna knock?
You really pisses him off, man.
Like, seriously, Geets was the most asshole-ish in this episode. Like, he was, like, more asshole than he has been in the last couple, where it's like, with Nago and Tycoon, he's almost like a playful asshole.
But he, like, deeply hates Geets on a,
like
a spiritual
like,
level.
I'm saying, like, Buffa, he feels like he does play into Buffa's anger, where it's just like he knows he's mad about it, so it's... Exactly, so he's doing it to set him off, and, like... He just kept having this line of, he's like, that's what winners get to do, bitch. Like, the only word it was missing was bitch in that sentence.
Or it's just like, oh, if you don't like how this world works, why don't you just win the prix and make it your own or something? I'm just sitting there like, dude, you're asking to get punched in the face.
It's like, you fucker.
So they have, like, this gimmick of, like, teaming up this episode.
Yes.
And that's interesting because
they only have 5?
I thought they were going to go the easy route and be like, oh, it's Geets and Buffa, hijinks ensues. But no, here's the thing. Like, they put Buffa and Tycoon together and Yago and Geets together. And then we obviously have Mary and Punk Jack. And can I just say, first of all, Punk Jack, best thing in the world. But, also,
he's a staff member.
The two teams. Yeah, it's like a staff member. And
he's an admin.
They're in suit constantly because they have to stay anonymous, apparently.
Yeah.
I wonder if that'll come in at some point. But can I just say, weirdly, Buffa, Tycoon, but especially Geets and Yago are actually, like, they work really well together.
Buffa doesn't work well with anybody, but yeah, Nyago got claws this episode.
Yeah.
Which are a reuse from Valkyrie's V-Cinema suit.
And, I mean, the whole gimmick of, like, not only is it, like...
concentration.
It's also a game of, like, concentration, which is, you know, where you match up a memory game kind of thing.
Yeah.
If I remember. And all the Jamato, or whatever they're called, like, they're in, like, card suits, and it's like you have to hit them one time.
See what they are.
And then there's, like, a match somewhere, and then you have to kill them both at the same time to get points. And get this. The team with the least amount of points will be eliminated at the end. So they're going to knock off 2 players. And
yeah.
that'll probably be next episode. And funny enough, like, and everyone's really struggling. It's only at the very end where Geets and Yago kind of figure it out and they get points. But... funny enough, because, like, Mary was like, well, this...
so fed up with Punk Jack.
It's just like,
which,
this
fuck
is stupid.
him.
I just have, like...
He doesn't do anything.
He's not doing anything. And they actually, like, were like, well, we're going to offer you this. And basically, they have a thing where you can use your points to...
your money.
Yeah, the points that you... or the money that you win in the games. You can basically buy, like, a Monopoly Chance Time card, is what I'm going to call it.
Or whatever they have available.
Yeah, and this one is like, oh, you're able to, like, switch partners or something. And
you're paying for a community chest.
Yeah, exactly. And he actually does get it, so I'm pretty sure we're going to be seeing that at some point.
Oh, boy. Does that mean somebody else is going to go with Punk Jack?
I don't know. Like I imagine, since that's who he's trying to get rid of. But I guess we'll just kind of have to see.
Yeah,
I'm going to be very upset if they get rid of Buffa before they get rid of Mary, because I'm kind of scared.
Well, I'm if they get rid of him at the same time. I'm still going to be pissed.
I will be pissed.
I want to see where else Buffa's going to go. And it looks like he's going to be using Boost next episode, which, bringing that back up, so they each got an item because they're like, hey, but you guys can share it, and Geets was just like, you can keep it. You can keep the Colossus. It fits you better.
Dynamic.
Yeah, exactly. Which we find something else out this episode of that, and then all of a sudden Buffa gets Buffa and Tycoon get the boost buckle, and Buffa even admits, he's like, have you gotten this every time? And he's just like,
Yeah.
he's like, yeah.
I've
never used it myself, though. It's like, it's almost like you're a fucking fool.
He even says, like, I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, good to know Buffa's on the audience side.
And I think it's really funny because, like, you probably want to talk about, like, the thing that we learned, though, first.
Well, I guess we can get into this. There's a moment where Buffa's just like, because Tycoon asked him, why are you have a gun? Use your gun. He's just like, I don't like guns. I like rather punch them.
Yeah, he's like, he doesn't like long range.
Yeah, he likes close range.
And are you gonna say it or are you gonna make
Yeah,
me say
so
it?
we find out this episode, and this is that each ID core has a corresponding buckle. So every ID core, like hypothetically, I say hypothetically, have a certain buckle that goes to each one, which obviously Geet's is Magnum, Buffa's is Zombie.
Yeah. And it apparently, like, the
Tycoon's
can only be unlocked depending on how the user uses it.
Yeah, so so it only gives the person extra strength if they desire it, pun not intended. But
yeah, which is interesting.
Well,
and,
yeah.
I mean, Tycoon basically is just like,
oh, you want that, right?
here, hand that to me. And he's just like, want to trade? And then Yaga's like, okay, but give us a boost. He's like, okay. And then he's just like, here you go.
Well, here's the funny part about it is, like, Ace is the one who tells him this, because he's just like, oh, he's like, yeah, I want that. And he's like, and I know he wants Zombie, so he's like, you better sweeten the deal. Which I'm like, why? And it's like one of those things where it's like, I wish Kiowa would have fought it in a way, because it's like,
it was kind of, well,
he was doing it.
I
know, but like,
to be fair, on her end, that's kind of smart negotiating.
Yeah, which I do agree with that fact. It is smart negotiating.
It's just not good on his end.
Yeah, but it's like, I guess he was doing it more for Buffa than himself.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny when you look at it from that angle. But again, I think it's funny that Buffa was kind of pissed off about it, but he still took the buckle. He's like,
still taking this anyway.
This is still mine. But yeah, no, Nyago fucking played him. But it's like, dude, come on, he gets the good match. And he gets the good match. It's an even trade. Fuck you. I'm keeping the boost buckle. Is Tycoon never going to use that boost buckle? Is that going to be the bit in the series? Like, he's always going to A, get it, and B, get hit by it, but never use the damn thing?
I will laugh, though, if it's, like, one of the last things that he gets to do.
And then he dies. He's like, I finally used it.
It really does. I will give them this. It really does feel like no one is safe in this game. I really feel it. I'll say that.
Like, Mary is my number one, who's definitely, I hope's gonna die.
Shit list.
But like, I will be very upset if Buffa dies next episode.
Also, can I just say, Punk Jack just punched him basically in the throat, and apparently that was improvised.
Yeah, exactly.
Wonderful.
The other funny part I think it is about Punk Jack is he's not gonna get eliminated if whoever's on his team loses, because he's just a staff member. So he's just kind of there because they didn't have enough people, so they had to have an administrator do it. So I think it would have been super funny if he would have lost, and it's like where it's like, well, and just Mary dies because it's like, well.
Well, again, I'm fairly sure they're gonna be switching teams though, so I don't
exactly.
know if that'll be the case.
Yeah, I'm really curious on who's gonna.
Which worries me, because we're running out of main characters, so.
We definitely are.
It just kind of feels like they're setting up Buffa to die, and I do not like.
I don't want him to die. I want to find out.
Or be retired or whatever. I don't know.
Oh yeah, lose. Like, you don't want him to get eliminated, and B, you don't want him to die, because again,
I don't know what's gonna. I'll give them this. I don't know what they're going for. I don't know what they're going to be doing. So,
again,
the suspense is there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, again, I don't think Mary's gonna be somebody that's gonna go to the end game. because like I said, my close theory,
Mm-hmm.
which maybe that's even why administrators have closed now that I'm thinking about it. But I'm not saying like,
I
oh,
do
this
have a
gives
take.
them an infinity thing, and or
Okay, what if Punk Jack sees Boost?
before Tycoon,
Yeah.
I'd laugh all day. Like, supposedly he's getting his own buckle. Like, I don't know if it's just.
Ooh. Oh, it's Monster, right?
So, yeah, we don't know what it looks like, but supposedly he's gonna get Monster. I don't know if
Want
they're
it.
just gonna do it because
I want it.
they're gonna just release the ID core and they have a Monster buckle that's supposed to. What if that's the matching? Like, that's the boost equivalent for Zombie,
Maybe.
and it's like they're just giving you that
I feel
ID
like
core.
Boost is just kind of like a more generic
Well, like that's
boost.
what that's.
A literal, like, it just enhances everything that you are using.
You might be right, but
Maybe there's ones where, like, oh, it works best with Magnum, but it works for everything else too. You know what I mean? Like, it's possible, but
Well,
I don't know. Like,
I think-
I don't know how complex they're gonna be making
Well,
this.
the only reason I'm going there has to be a little bit of more complexity in my thought is because of the toys, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, yes, everything will always end in boost, and it's like always whatever the big buckle is, Magnum or Zombie before boost. But if you use Magnum boost, it gives you its own unique jingle to itself, and it's meant to do that. So I'm like, there has to be more than just that out there. So it's like I could see them doing it to where maybe that's like admins, those buckles aren't one-time use. Like Monster is a one-time. Like maybe there's also an admin that will later just use boost the whole time because it's not a one-use thing for them.
Who knows?
Who knows? Like I have no idea. Like
Again, it's been really good at keeping us on our toes and just not really showing us.
it's
Everything.
suspense. It's
So, lots of good stuff to look forward to. All the shows are good. I'm very happy with.
we may be very upset next week.
Yeah, it's very
From Sonoy
possible.
coming back to life, to
Oh, also,
and Buffa
I have
maybe dying.
suspicions that Decker may have a Halloween episode next episode.
Oh yeah, Morelu.
Because it seems like it's like, oh, like there's like a blackout and everything's all dark and spooky. And I'm just like, do I smell spooky? Like,
Yeah, that one seems like it's gonna be more fun than anything. The other two actually sound like really interesting.
I'm
Like,
sorry if I just like sniffed right in someone's ear. I'm sorry if I made you uncomfortable.
where is she? Or so it appeared.
Sniff, sniff.
Sniff, sniff, sniff.
Do you have anything you want to add?
Overall, Geats is one of those things where it's like there's like it just keeps adding to itself each week, and since it's exploring all of its characters, it makes it really interesting. Like I honestly do not hope that we get a little storyline with Mary. I don't want it. I
don't
just
want
want
it
him
either.
gone. I just want him gone because it's like he just seems like a selfish fucking prick. And like it just seems like Buffa has his revenge mission that he's on. And
I have my suspicions that Buffa's desire at this point is just he wants a world where there is no Grand Prix, there is no Jamato, none of this ever happened, and the world is just normal, and his friend is alive.
yeah.
And Geets is fucked off somewhere where he doesn't care. That's what I feel like his desire is. Just the world is normal.
What happens if at one point that was his desire, but now his desire because he's lost so many times?
Geets explodes.
Yeah, he's just like, I beat the shit out of Geets until he's a bloody paste into my
Or
hands.
just Geets ceases to exist.
Exactly.
Or Geets gets a painful death.
Like, that's like another reason where it's like now like his character is becoming more complex, and I'm interested to see where it's gonna go. Because like you said, it's like you can almost show like how the Desire Grand Prix hardens people to being like he's just like what the fuck. Because it didn't even seem like he was part of the Desire Grand Prix when.
Because he wants to be. It feels like at this point he's in there because he thinks he has to be almost.
Well, yeah. Well, I was also gonna say like when his friend died, I don't think he was Buffa yet.
Maybe that was like kind of what happened with the one guy that died in the first episode of this. He died really early, and this was before anyone even really knew anything, and he never even got a chance.
So, but we do know this does confirm one thing I'm realizing though. One thing for absolutely sure. That Geets has been in the Grand Prix longer than Buffa. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he mentioned something like that.
Well, no, just because we saw him in the flashbacks that Geets was already a rider, and when his friend was dying, he didn't have a belt or anything. His friend was using the zombie buckle.
I wonder if, like, Geets just was more focused on getting points than, like, actually legitimately helping people. And legitimately the only reason he's in the Grand Prix is for revenge against Geets for not helping keep his friend alive. Or helping...
Well, yeah, because he has that mentality of all riders are enemies.
Mm-hmm. What if he literally just joined the Grand Prix because he hated Geets for not helping them, or for letting them die, or something like that?
And now I
didn't even think about that. That's a fair point, though.
And it's like, I'm very interested. Like,
this is a good show.
Like I said, like, I like a lot of the characters. Like, again, Tycoon is okay. But he is character.
He's protagonist.
He is protagonist McJones. It's like, I liked what they did with Nyago last week. I just love having an asshole writer again. Like, it has been a hot minute since, like...
Main writer, too.
Like, Kabuto... Look, it has been since I feel Kabuto. Like, if somebody disagrees and they're like, well, so-and-so was an asshole writer...
I mean, Decade was one, right?
Decade was really aloof in later appearances, but I mean, like, for the show. Kabuto was, like, openly a fucking dick. Like, this feels like a Kabuto Gatak dynamic to where, like, Tycoon is the main hero, but the person who gets all the wins is Kabuto, you know what I mean? It's very interesting. Which came full circle if you watch Geo. Because Gatak became Kabuto. Because full circle reasons. And overall, I like how this show is going. Like, I'd say I'm really just enjoying it, and I can't wait for next week.
I'm just having a good old time.
Again, everyone using the boost buckle.
Except Tycoon.
Except for Tycoon. Yeah, I'm about to say that's it. The fights were really cool. That's about that. About to say, I don't think there's really anything left.
Yeah, just good stuff, man. Go watch it if you have.
I'm about to say, do you have a favorite of the 3 episodes? I might give it to Geets this week.
I don't know. Again, like, they're all just really good. Like, I don't know how to choose that kind of stuff because they're all good for, like, different reasons. So
I guess
it's like
I can agree with that. They were all good
like,
for their.
Geets had probably the best, like, story of the 3 episodes this week. Decker probably had the most, like, visually spectacular stuff. I don't know. I think this is pretty much just like a typical episode of Dawn Brothers, so I don't know if...
I don't know. Dawn Brothers is just constantly good every week.
It's just a good, consistent show, so it's just...
It's not...
I have nothing to complain about, so...
Yeah, I'm about to say, you can't blame Dawn Brothers for getting 31 consecutive home runs.
Yeah, I'd say maybe I'd give it to Decker, just because this was just a really fun episode. I really like the visuals. Henry Giroux is just really blossoming into being probably one of my favorite characters.
He is the best.
It's just good stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that, like, again, especially Ultraman, is just free.
Yeah.
You can just go watch it for free. Like,
and not use...
legally.
Yeah, we can legally watch it for free. That's always the best part, where it's like, again...
I love it. It's on YouTube.
A motto I live by. If you can watch it officially, and I don't
if you can
support it, because tell them you want it, because that means... And I get it sometimes... that movie releases sometimes don't have the best translations or don't have it like how you want it. But you're showing them you want... If you really love this show...
It's saying we want more here in
like,
other places other than Japan. Like, oh, we want it here in America. We want it in Canada. We want it
exactly. And like that's what makes Ultra so great is we have like most of its back catalog library on Blu-ray or DVD.
Yeah.
And we are like 5 or 6... like shows away. Like we're like I think less than 10 shows to having the complete back catalog outside of the 2 newest shows, which is Zet and Trigger, which I need Blu-rays of those so bad, but they're for free on Ultraman Connection, so it's not...
And YouTube.
Exactly. Oh, and Taiga. We don't have Taiga either, which Taiga is nowhere...
I love Taiga so much.
I love Taiga.
I have his freaking...
You have the tiger
I have
brace.
the tiger brace, I have some rings, I have some bracelets. I brought a mannequin hand to display them, and they do not fit, because they are meant for tiny children fingers.
What you think a mannequin could
I
handle?
found a skeleton one on Amazon I might get, because it's pretty.
That might be better.
It still doesn't fit.
With those bony fingies.
Oh, the bony fingies.
But yeah, no. I like
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime that you can go and support them,
Just go do
go
it.
ahead and do it. Like, just wherever you can. Again, it just shows that, hey, we like this. We want more of this here. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's again, like, just... Again, I want Kamen Rider and Sentai to do it. I know why Sentai couldn't do
I
it.
think there's like 2 Kamen Rider Blu-rays. It's like 01 and Kuga, I think.
Which, we do have other shows streaming right now, which is great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like, I think it's like, what, Tubi that, like...
Tubi has them,
They've been
or
streaming a lot of-
Tokushoutsu.
They've been streaming a lot of, like, Showa, if I remember
Well,
correctly. But
they have... Well, here are the shows that are currently airing. We got Kamen Rider 1971, which is the original show. Kuga, Ryuki, 01... Oh, there's another one.
Ichigo's on there, right?
Well, I already said Ichigo. That was 71.
Oh.
I think there's one other one on there. I can't remember for the life of me what it is. Did I say 01 already?
I think so.
Because it's one... And I said Ryuki. It's not Agito. Yeah, I think that's it.
Maybe.
I think those are the 4 shows.
Yeah, it's just...
Like, because it's like... That's cool, but it's like, we have 4, and then we have all these... Like I said, we're 10 away from having all the Ultra shows available. And we actually have a good amount of Sentai available on Tubi.
Yeah.
And Tokushoutsu.
And there are also, like, DVDs and Blu-rays of...
DVDs. No Blu-rays.
Okay. So there are a lot of DVDs of Sentai, but for whatever reason, like, aren't they, like, just going from, like, the very first one onwards?
No, they went from They're going backwards now. I think we're getting 5-man and stuff now. But, like...
It's a lot of the older stuff that...
But they finally got to Abba Ranger, so they finally got to shit that matters. And that's what matters to me. Like, I think...
Abba.
I love Abba Ranger. But I think
Abba.
that... Oh, can somebody please, if it exists out there, tell me the link down in the comments. If there is a Dancing Queen parody, but with, like, Sentai...
Dancing.
Like, I don't even need it to be Abba Ranger specifically. Like, I just need somebody to take clips. I'm realizing maybe you could take some from Kaido when he was on that motorcycle and being fabulous in that Dawn Brothers episode. So you can just throw in Dancing Queen in there.
Oh my god. Okay, I feel like we're plenty off topic, but what do you guys think?
Leave it down in the comments. I probably have nothing witty to say in the description anymore. So,
because you have been checking that, right?
I'm about to say because
Right, I'm kidding.
Well, it's like we've been up to date, so it's like why even say it's like hey, we got 3 more episodes.
Here you go.
Here you go. So, maybe I've thought of something clever, probably not. So, thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening the whole way through.
And until whatever we do next.
See you next time.
Bye.